these two cables are sewn together. And you just continue on this way by taking these, bringing both your threads through, keeping your top one on top, making sure your end is not going to fray on you, and then threading that through again, keeping this. We're going to move it to this knot that was here before, and now we're going to pull out the slack. Take the bottom thread, make sure your end is prepped, run this bottom thread between these cables underneath that thread there. Once you've got it through, pull in your slack, work your slack again, still pulling this way because you want that crossover underneath the cable here to be as close to this knot back here as possible. This way you can cinch it, and you see when I start pulling it, how these cables here just kind of rolled over into place where they needed to be. And so while I'm still pulling this way, and I'm being animated about it to just show that this is what I'm doing, again, these are crossed. We have our top and we have our bottom. This is going to wrap over this way. This is going to wrap over this way. We're going to take this using either your homemade needle, or if you actually go and buy one of these, which they're pretty cheap and inexpensive anyway, thread it through, bring it through the back. Again, keeping it loose, not putting a lot of tension in this, because you don't want this to scoot in until you get everything aligned, and that's when you're going to cinch it down and make that a permanent stitch. Because down below here I don't have any stitches, I can easily just open up this section between the two and take this side and stick it in. Again, I'm not putting tension on this because I don't want to move that knot until I'm ready to move it. So I get this thing in here, and once I get all this slack, I'm hoping you could see this slack, yeah, okay. Once I get this slack put in like this, now I'm ready to start pulling and tightening. You see how that just pulled that over? And now I've got a little knot sitting between this cable and this cable, and it cinched this cable up to here. Then at this point I simply do another tie and lock it down behind the cable. By pulling tight, I'm able to lock these in place. Now, I've got to check as I'm doing this because I want these to be flat, which means I need my stitch to go straight across. This right here is trying to run up on me. So I need to make sure that I keep these in line while I'm stitching them. That way I don't get all the way to the end and find myself up here. If I keep checking this with my measurement, and I keep just making sure that I'm at the same distance, then I should be good to go. And then you just continue to sew. And this is how you sew a set of cables. As you can see, I've already sewn 3 other rungs right above. So when we look at this cable, we can see that it is flat, it is even, and it's exactly visually the way I wanted it to be. Because it will flow all the way down. And it will retain its shape all the way down.